I'd like to share with you some ideas on how to learn to look at your thoughts instead of being caught up by them. Hopefully, as you practice these tools, you'll learn how to let your thoughts come and go instead of being pulled along by them. In ACT, we call this process diffusion. Diffusion is learning to see yourself as a bit separate and a bit distant from your internal voices. Now, these voices are full of rules and reasons, even judgments. We all have brains that tell us things each and every day, moment to moment. And it's only natural that some of those thoughts feel dark, scary, worrisome, even depressing. Those thoughts are perfectly natural. But that being said, you are different from your thoughts. Look at me here. As the camera guy was setting up, I started thinking to myself, you're not so good at talking on camera. What are you doing? My internal voices were saying, you should back out of this right now. You're not good enough to do this. And those voices reasoned with me saying, see how nervous you are? That's proof you're in no position to be giving advice to anyone. But here's the weird thing. Those voices, they are stories my mind is telling me. It's a bit odd to think of your mind as different from oneself, but yet it's the key to learning how to diffuse from your thoughts. Let's try two different experiments. First, find one of those stories that your mind is telling you. For me, it was not being good enough. Take a moment now to find one of those stories. Even better, pause the video for a second and write down one of those thoughts that's pulling at you. Great. Now we're going to try a little experiment. First, try this. Preface your thoughts with the words, I'm having the thought that. So I'd say, I'm having the thought that I'm not good enough. Pause the video and try saying this a few times out loud. I'm having the thought that. Now try it a few more times, adding the words, I notice at the very front. So I notice that I'm having the thought that. What happens to your thought? For many people, there's some sense of distance or separation, almost like the thought moves out of you. And sometimes this changes how much hold that thought has over you. If you feel those sensations, then that means you're learning to begin to diffuse from your thought. This week, try practicing diffusing from your thoughts. You can diffuse from sad thoughts, happy thoughts, worrisome thoughts, even giddy thoughts. Each time you try this exercise, pause at the end and notice what happens to a relationship between you and your thought. And that is ACT diffusion skills made simple.